Today I wanted to take a quick look at 1988's Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama. Very interesting, very weird and quirky film. I've kind of seen it around here and there, never really paid it much mind, and I'm actually glad I saw this. It's definitely a fun film. It's more of a horror comedy than anything else. And the opening scene, we obviously have a sorority hazing or initiation that's being spied on by some pervy, nerdy type guys. They get caught and pretty much get forced into helping the girls steal a bowling trophy from a bowling alley, which happens to be owned by the father of Babs, who happens to be one of the sorority leaders. So the original plan was to eventually just sneak up on them and cause a bunch of trouble once they are in there and obtain the trophy. Things take a very strange turn as somebody accidentally drops the trophy. Some sort of a genie or imp type creature pops out and tries to grant everyone a wish. Obviously things go sour with the wishes, which is to be expected. And he also just sort of wreaks havoc. He converts a few of the sorority girls, which were going to scare the initiates. He turns them into some sort of a demon. They go around hunting and killing people. But I don't know, I think one of the oddest wishes, because one of the guys had asked for gold. It eventually just turns into wood. Somebody else wanted to be a prom queen. Her dress turns into garbage. And the one guy who said that he wanted to bag one of the sorority girls, for some reason she stays all hot and steamy and she eventually just dies. So that's the one wish that just never really cooled off, which, I don't know, I guess she really had a motor to burn there. We also eventually run across the backstory, which apparently when the bowling alley was in its heyday, some fellow named Dave McCabe had made some sort of a deal, and he summoned this imp to help him win the bowling tournaments. He was tired of being picked on, but the creature went on its own and started just pretty much killing everyone. The janitor, or Dave McCabe, I don't really quite remember, caught this creature and trapped it inside of a trophy, which somehow happens to weaken its abilities once it is in a small confined space. I think the fact that the backstory character, Dave McCabe, that's a very interesting choice, considering that David Coutu, the director of this film, that actually happens to be the pseudonym he used when directing porn. So I don't know, is he just kind of giving a nod at himself or just couldn't think of another name? So interesting little tidbit. The film's budget was extremely limited, so rather than being able to afford to rent the bowling alley during the day, they had to go with the cheaper rate and film at night. These were usually 12-hour shoot days, and filming actually lasted for about 12 days, so they were there from 9 at night till 9 in the morning. For those of you familiar with Static X, one of Linnea Quigley's lines from this film was actually used in the song I'm With Stupid. Like I said, it was a very interesting, very quirky film. There were some laughable moments. The imp creature, I thought his voice was very interesting. He sort of, the deepness in his voice kind of reminded me of Little Richard. So, I don't know, I was kind of expecting some little Shop of Horrors plant to start singing and eating people, but yeah, he was fairly amusing. He came up with some interesting stuff here and there, but I don't know, I think it's just more the atmosphere and the feel of the film that actually keeps it fun and entertaining. It's a very basic story, kids locked in a closed facility trying to get out, fighting for their lives. We've all seen this storyline before. There really isn't anything too new or interesting offered here. The effects really aren't too great, especially the makeup used on the demon chicks. They're not necessarily disgusting in the sense that it's grotesque, but they just kind of walk around with like these acne type boil mess on their face, and it's like, it's not too appealing, but it's not gross or disgusting in the sense that your stomach would be unsettled. But I don't know, it's like I've said, it's just not the best the makeup that could have been used. So after the majority of the main characters have been killed off, we still have our two leads, and there is a sort of an implied little love story going on between them. There really isn't too much time to bother and develop on that. Linnea Quigley's character, Spider, throughout the film just sort of has all these sarcastic things she has to say every time someone's attacked, every time someone's murdered. It doesn't hurt or hold back the film, but it's definitely interesting the fact that Calvin, one of the lead characters in the film, points this out to her And her response is, "It's my thing." And she just keeps doing it. So I don't know, it's kind of funny in a sense. I think one of the interesting things here is early commercials for this film. The voice that was used for the imp was actually a higher pitch, whereas voice used in the film is the lower one that I've been talking about. The film did have a limited theatrical release. I know the DVD was distributed by a subsidiary of Full Moon Entertainment or Charles Band's company, and this had been released by Cult Video. The film in the early 90s also was featured on the USA Up All Night program. Pretty much they featured just about any little obscure thing, but yeah, I think it's like I said, just a very fun, entertaining film. It does have like some mild focus on the sorority theme at the beginning of the film with the girls being paddled. And supposedly that was part of the success of the film, is that's what happened to popularize the film. The version I saw, I believe, had been an edited version, and where you didn't have the full shower scene, so I didn't really get all the gross and nudie parts, but I'm not really interested in that. So yeah, obviously great cult film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I really enjoyed this, had a lot of fun watching it, and I will talk to you later.